in Zoom, about to go live. I thought I think he's gonna make an announcement when we do go live.
Yeah. But yeah, and then both of y'all, if y'all could say, greetings, hometown, where y'all from, what kind of activities you did, what, and then I guess we could talk about that after, kind of activities. Okay, you're live. Okay, you're live now. All right, so hello, good evening, everyone. Greetings. I am Chantel Black. I am a proud graduate of Florida Agricultural Mechanical University, affectionately known as FAMU. I am also the current president of the FAMU National Alumni Association New York chapter. So basically, I am a proud New York native, born and raised in Brooklyn. And as an alumni, I am now in charge of the chapter for all the people that live in New York, and also trying to go to high school, college fairs like the ones that we're having right now, whether virtual in person, to get other students from New York to attend FAMU as well. So tonight, joining with me is going to be Mr. Keith Shannon and then Miss Aaliyah Everett, and they'll introduce themselves. And I forgot to add, when I went to FAMU, I majored in broadcast journalism. So journalism is very near and dear to my heart, and any students that are interested in that major, myself and Aaliyah would be great people to talk to because we are graduates from that program. So Mr. Shannon, if you can take it away.
Good evening. It's great to see and be with those that are in the Rattler Nation. I am Keith Shannon, a alum of Florida A&M University. I majored in political science and public management and came to the highest of 7 hills from Alexandria, Virginia. I currently serve in the National Alumni Association as the national chaplain for FAMU. And I serve in the Los Angeles chapter and the Raleigh-Durham chapter. And so I'm excited to help the Florida A&M University recruiting team to pick the best and the brightest of students across the nation to come to the Hill. And with that, I got the drum roll going, and I'm going to turn it over to Aaliyah Everett.
Greetings, everyone. I am Aaliyah Everett. I am a recent and proud graduate of the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, and I currently serve in the FAMU Undergraduate Office of Admissions. So I'm an enrollment specialist here at FAMU, and I'm so excited to be joining you all tonight. So if I may take it away, I am going to do a small presentation for you all. So here we go. And if you guys have any questions, let's just hold them until the end, or you can drop them in the chat and we'll answer them as we go. But all right, y'all. So for those of you that are not familiar with FAMU, I'll give you a short background on what FAMU is. So Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University was founded on October 3rd, 1887 with 2 instructors and 15 students. Since then, we have grown to have just under 10,000 students on campus and over 80,000 alum. We are located in Tallahassee, Florida, and we have 98-degree programs and 14 colleges and schools, okay? So we'll get a little bit more into that in the presentation. And also, I'd like to note that we are the #1 public HBCU in the nation for 5 consecutive years. So we are continuing to strive and reach the highest that we can be. And hopefully, I think a lot of us believe that we will hit that 6-year mark next year. So let's get into it. All right, so at FAMU, we brag different, okay? And the reason why we brag different is because our faculty and staff and students all work very hard for us to be the #1 public HBCU in the nation. So here are some of our accolades right here. We are ranked number 91 out of all national universities in the country, okay? We're also ranked number 21 in social mobility. Social mobility simply means moving from one socioeconomic status to another. And I'll give you an example of that later in the presentation. We are ranked number 6 overall in Florida State University institutions, and we are ranked number 3 amongst all HBCUs, which is pretty big to us because the majority of the HBCUs are private. So for us to be ranked number 3 amongst them all is a really big deal, and we take pride in that. We are also ranked number 2 among all Florida engineering schools and top 100 best undergraduate teaching, okay? And moving on. Here's a short video to show you some additional accolades that we have at FAMU, okay?
We know the college application
Short
process can
ads.
feel
Use this, please.
overwhelming. Admission rates.
Sound is not on.
Oh, okay, that's why you guys can't hear it. I'm sorry, I muted myself because I didn't want it to echo, but it should work like this. We good?
Not yet. Unless I have. No, the sound's not coming through the video.
Yeah. And then I can just talk through this real quick. As you guys are watching the video, this is just showing some of the alums, the famous alums that came from the university. Including Althea Gibson, that, you know, she won the Grand Slam and he works at Converse. We also have many actresses, the chairman of Microsoft, and then the former mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms. And then Will Packer, a big name movie producer, also started his film career on the campus of FAMU, shooting videos on the set. So we take pride in our school and have a lot of alumni. We are in Tallahassee, Florida, but we have students that live and travel abroad in so many different countries. We have a lot of foreign exchange students, a very robust student exchange program. And these are just some of the things that we have ranked number 1 in various different fields, from science to business. Then if you want to do activities like be a cheerleader, if you want to be in the band, like the world is your oyster on campus. There's so many different programs you can do. It's the highest ranked public HBCU, as mentioned before by Aaliyah. So we take pride in these rankings because we're not just being compared to only by HBCUs, the US World and News Report. They are comparing us to universities across the country, predominantly white institutions, PWIs and HBCUs combined. So we take big pride in that. So I'll send it back to you, Aaliyah.
Okay. I'm sorry that the audio didn't work for that. I don't know what happened, but it's okay. We worked through it. Thank you, Chantel. All right, let's see. Moving on. So I think here we go. So these, you seen in the video, a few of our notable alum. You saw Miss Keisha, you saw Mr. John Thompson, but we're going to go over it a little bit more, and also Will Packer. These are just a handful of our notable alum that have graduated from FAMU, okay? So starting off right here on the far left, this is Miss Kimberly Godwin. She is the first African-American to lead a major news broadcasting network, and she is the CEO of ABC News. She graduated from the best school, J School, the School of Journalism and Graphic Communication. So if you come to the football games or you go to Classic, it's pretty, you have a good chance of seeing Miss Kim Godwin. She comes back to FAMU a lot, and she actually brought Good Morning America to the campus of Florida A&M University, and they did a live production from our football stadium on campus last year. So that was really amazing, and it was a great experience to have that happen at FAMU. Next up is Common. You guys should be familiar with this face right here, given that you guys are from up north. So Common actually earned an honorary degree from FAMU. So he's an artist, philanthropist, actor, very known, very cool guy. But yes, this is an honorary Rattler right here. Next up is Miss Keisha Lance Bottoms. She's the second Black woman to be elected the mayor of Atlanta. Okay, so now she works under the Biden-Harris administration in the White House, and she's recently been promoted to a new role, which is the President's Export Council. So essentially what that is, it is the principal national advisory council for international trade. So we have a Rattler in the White House that is helping with international trade in our country. So that is something really huge, and we love to talk about that as well. Next up is Mr. John Thompson. As you've seen him in the video as well, he is a former he's formerly sat on the chair for Microsoft, but now he has been promoted to an executive officer. And word on the street is he may be starting his own tech company soon. So we'll be really excited for him to do that and support him through that as well. So next up, this is Miss Dr. Marina Snowden. Dr. Marina Snowden is the first the first woman, period, to gain a PhD in nuclear engineering from MIT. And you guys are probably like, what's MIT? You know, we're talking about FAMU. Well, Dr. Marina Snowden came through FAMU and graduated from our engineering school. So she got her educational foundation at FAMU that was able to help her excel beyond undergraduate career. And now she has made history in the United States. So we take pride in that as well. And lastly, this is Mr. Will Packer. He has grossed over $1 billion in the box office. He is the producer of movies like Ride Along, Girls Trip, Think Like a Man. This is an alum of FAMU, and he is the producer behind all those amazing movies that you love to enjoy and watch in your homes. And unique thing about Mr. Will Packer is he actually graduated from the FAMU FSU College of Engineering. So FAMU is a really amazing place because it teaches you how to be flexible and versatile in the real world. So he has a degree in engineering, but now he's one of the biggest names in the box office in the film industry. So yeah, there we go. That's just a little background about our alum. And Chantel, are you raising your hand?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's hard to see you.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I just wanted to throw in, as a journalist, I was doing a lot of entertainment reporting, and I just want to say for some of the people you mentioned, Kim Godwin, she has been very instrumental in getting HBCU awareness in major news networks. Also, another news network, MSNBC, their president, she went to Hampton University. So it's great to see women and HBCU alum leading these news organizations. And Kim Godwin, she single-handedly made sure that ABC News had like the largest, they had an HBCU internship program with almost 30 interns this past summer. So when we are in the front, we are at the table, we are helping you students to get opportunities once you graduate from school. And Common did actually start at FAM. He was a student at FAM and he left to pursue his musical career. But even I've interviewed him, and the first thing I said is I went to FAMU, and it's like his whole demeanor changed. And he was like, oh man, bring it in. And I had a great interview because it was just like, he was like, that's still home to me. And the same thing for Will Packer. I was on the red carpet during something, and he's having all these people come to him. And I said, hey, Rattler. And when I say, he went straight to me and he gave me, and everyone was like, how did you get that exclusive interview? I'm like, I'm a Rattler. So like, we really look out. These are, people we look up to as mentors, but when they see students and alumni, they open their arms to you. So I just wanted to put that personal tie in.
Yes, the network is amazing. The FAMU lead is real. So, and you heard it, testimony from our a Rattler right here. So moving on, I told you guys earlier that we have 98 degree programs in 14 colleges and schools. 2 of those colleges and schools are located off campus. The FAMU FSU College of Engineering is in Tallahassee, Florida, along with the main campus, but separate from it. And the College of Law is located in Orlando, Florida. All right, so the FAMU FSU College of Engineering, very, very unique, big STEM program at FAMU. It is unique because it is the only program in the nation that is partnered with an HBCU and a Research One institution. And so what's unique about the program itself specifically is that typically when you major in engineering at any other institution in the country, you're not allowed to do research until you get to your graduate level courses. But at FAMU FSU College of Engineering, you're allowed to come in and do that research in your undergraduate career. So that's kind of us putting you guys like a step of everybody else, setting you up for success, because when you do graduate, you'll have that research and that experience under your belt compared to other students that are coming out of these programs without that experience. So that's something that we like to talk about. And also noting, you can see all the different programs that we have for engineering, and we offer them from the bachelor's level all the way up to the doctorate. Okay. Next up is the College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical, the College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, Institute of Public Health. Very popular school at FAMU. A lot of people come to be a part of this program at FAM. If you visit Tallahassee and you go into CVS or Walgreens and you see someone in a white coat, 9 times out of 10, they've graduated from FAMU's pharmacy program, or they are students that are completing their clinical hours. So very popular program. As again, you can see the different majors that we offer in this college, and we offer it from the bachelor's level all the way up to the doctorate level. I get tripped up on my words, y'all. Okay, so if anybody's interested in law, FAMU has a great law program. So we have a 3+3 law program. So basically what that means is that you have an agreement with the school that you're going to come in and do major in pre-law for 3 years on Tallahassee's main campus. And at the end of that 3rd year, you're going to transition over to the College of Law in Orlando to finish out your additional 6 years to complete your six-year law program. So very great program. The only thing that is required is that you have to major in pre-law to get the benefits of this program. And I do want to note, this is a great program to take advantage of and be a part of, but please know that you don't have to major in pre-law to go to law school. We have students that come to FAMU to major in political science, like Brother Shannon, and also criminal justice, and people that go off to law school because of that. But you don't have to major in pre-law to go to law school, but for this particular benefit of this program, yes, you do. All right, so if you are really interested and want to come to FAMU, this is the blueprint for how to get in, okay? So we require a minimum 3.3 GPA. We recommend that you guys apply with a 3.5 because last year's incoming class averaged a 3.94. So it is competitive, and we like to really push and see if you guys can reach that 3.5 so you can go ahead and get like a jump ahead of other people. And then you have the 18 academic units. This is like your social sciences, your math. Please note that you have to have 2 years of one foreign language. Some students mess up with that and take like a year of Spanish or a year of French. Please know it has to be 2 years of one language, okay? Then you can see our SAT and ACT scores. We do not require both, okay? If you meet the ACT requirements and not the SAT requirements, we will still admit you, okay? Both of them are not required, but you do have to meet the minimum requirements for at least one to be admitted, okay? We also super score. And then we do have a 500-word essay. Basically, the type of prompt that you're gonna run into is like, what are your career goals? Why do you feel like this program's a good fit for you? What do you plan to use your degree for? Things like that. And that's just for us to get a good idea of how we can best help you be successful during your undergraduate career and as well beyond. And then you can see that we do offer self-reporting. So basically what that means is if you don't get your official grades in, like if you're graduating and you're waiting on your official transcript, you can go ahead, or if you apply before that, you can go ahead and import your grades or like submit your grades, but please know when we do receive your official transcripts that we're going to base everything off of that. So be as honest as possible. And then to sum this page up, at the bottom, we have a $35 application fee. You can speak to your school counselor and possibly get that waived. And then you can see our deadlines at the bottom. I will note for the deadlines, November 1st is when we want our seniors to apply by. Reason being is that is our early action deadline, not early decision, but early action. What that means is you'll hear back whether or not you've been admitted or denied by December 4th. So that way, if you are denied and you have to bring up test scores or your GPA, you have the whole spring semester to do that, and you can apply again before you graduate. That is also our National Merit-Based Scholarship eligibility deadline. Basically, so you'll hear back whether or not if you're eligible for our National Merit Scholarships, and that's based off of your academics, okay? And then ROTC, if anybody is interested in ROTC, we have the Naval, Marine, and Army ROTCs on our campus. Mr. Shannon, you think you could speak on this a little bit?
Yes, I could.
Okay.
We do have 4-year scholarships that a incoming first-time in college freshman could vie for. And then there are 3, 2, and 1-year scholarships. You can also go through the ROTC program, as I did, I completed military science as my minor, but did not get commissioned in the Army. So you can use ROTC as a minor. Do have several scholarships. You can also be a simultaneous membership student, and probably Sergeant Black could talk even a little more about that. You could be in the National Guard or the Army Reserves while you're in school. So veterans coming to campus is big, and the university loves veterans and has programs for all the services. We do have even Air Force ROTC that is joint across town with Florida State University.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for that. And yes, this is a great way to get your education paid for. And like you said, we do have the Air Force ROTC over on FSU campus. So both of our students can go back and forth and be a part of both of those, or not both of those, but one or the other.
And then too, I'd like to add, so Mr. Shannon, he is a veteran. I'm currently serving in the United States Army. I've been in for 20 years. I am a sergeant first class, so I went the enlisted route. But for those that will go through the ROTC program, you will commission upon your graduation. So you'll be commissioned as a second lieutenant, and then you will carry on to your military career, which is whether it's being active duty, being stationed on a base, or it's into the Reserve or National Guard, where you'll return back to your home city and you'll do the 1 weekend in the month, and 2 weeks in the summertime, do your annual training. But ROTC is a great avenue to learn leadership skills and pay for your school, and also give you a plan of action once you graduate. Mr. Shannon also forgot to add that his daughter is a graduate from the ROTC program, and she is still serving currently as a major in the United States Army.
And then our ROTC students also receive a monthly stipend up to $400 a month. So you don't have to get a job on campus or off campus while you're attending to your studies. Very rigid programs, and this is ROTC, just like the J School, puts you inside a family within the family. So you have, a lot of different activities on campus that you have a sub family within the Rattler family, and all of those programs put their arms around you as Rattlers and help you be successful.
And that is a perfect segue into our next slide, which is student life and clubs and organizations on campus. So FAMU has over 170 plus organizations on campus, okay? So I like to say FAMU is the land of opportunities, from internships to networking within these organizations, from getting involved on campus. This is what's going to establish you in your career once you graduate, okay? So it's about who you know and then what you know. And so I am so thankful for all the organizations I was able to be a part of. It's just really amazing. Like Brother Shannon said, it's like you have these families within the family. So it's really great. And your FAMU experience is what you make it, which is, we really encourage you guys to get involved on campus so you have the best FAMU experience. Some things that we have on campus: we have a salon on campus. We also have a bowling alley on campus for our students to enjoy. And then we have the campus rec. You can bring your Rattler card there and work out. You can become a member of the club teams. I played club volleyball at FAMU my first year, and that was a great experience, and getting to know people through that. So it's a lot of different opportunities that you can take advantage of at FAMU. And to note, we have Chick-fil-A on campus, Starbucks, Wingstop, and Tropical Cafe. So these are some of our national brand restaurants that we have on campus. Okay, so if you guys are interested in sports, please know that FAMU is a D1 institution. All the sports that we offer at FAMU are at the bottom of the screen. I will let you guys know that we do not have a men's volleyball team. We only have a women's bowling team, as you can see. And then we have women's tennis and men's golf, okay? And then if you are interested in playing a sport at FAMU, you can visit FAMUathletics.com, and the coaches' information for every sport is on there, and you can reach out to them that way. All right, these are our residence hall. Well, this is one of our residence halls that we have on campus. It's the newest residence hall. It's called FAMU Towers North and South. This is a hotel style residence hall on campus. Then we have our non-traditional residence halls, which is, well, FAMU Towers is a part of that. FAMU Village, Palmetto South, and Phase 3 are apartment style not complexes, residence halls. And then we have our traditional, which is Sampson and Young. Sampson is all male and Young is all female. And then depending on like the more privacy that you have, the more expensive that the residence hall is going to be. And then depending on roommates as well, in your apartments, you may have 3 roommates or 2 roommates. So residence halls or housing, lodging prices are going to be a little bit cheaper compared to ones where you only have 1 roommate, like FAMU Village and FAMU Towers. And then some of the resources that we have on campus available to you. The Career Center is amazing. Students can go here to get help with resume building. You can get internships. They help you figure out a career path and help you set goals so you know what you're working towards at FAMU. Great resource on campus. They have career expos both semesters, fall and spring, where most of the Fortune 500 companies that FAMU have partnerships through our school, business, and industry come in and sometimes offer internships on the spot. And like I said, you get to talk and get connected with these people that work at these companies that you may want to work for one day. And then we also have CDAR, the Center for Disability Access and Resources. So if you need to reach out to me or anyone at the school, we can put you in contact with someone in that department if you need to get in contact with them. And then also what you saw in the videos are international programs. We have 60 study abroad destinations for our students. So if you've ever thought about studying abroad, FAMU has these programs. You can see some of the countries: Italy, China, Europe, Dominican Republic. These are all countries that you may be able to study abroad in. So there is that. And then lastly, this is our mobile app. You can download this and you can take a virtual tour of the campus if you like to. At the bottom of the page or screen, you will see our social media platforms. I always encourage students to follow these, especially on Instagram. That way you can see what student life and what campus life really looks like on campus. And then lastly, come strike with us. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. And if you guys have any questions, this is now the time that we can open the floor for those.
So I am looking at a question right now. First of all, thank you, Aaliyah, for giving us that latest and greatest up to date. I know I graduated a couple years ago and so much has changed since then. So especially the biggest transition has been housing. So it's great to see a lot of us, we have personal ties to the old dorms, but it was great to see them go because that means it's time for new, upgraded. And I mean, kids, if y'all choose FAMU and you go on TikTok, go on to Instagram, check out the videos because there's a lot of YouTube videos from students showing their experiences in the dorms and what is life like there. Our university president, Dr. Larry Robinson, is very engaging with the students and very engaging on social media. So there's so much to see visually before you even get on campus, what it is like to be there. And that's important coming from New York, because if you're not, my first time at FAM was when I got to FAM to start, but through technology able to get a feel for it. So the first question we'll start with is Janae Sanders had asked if we can run it back. What are some of the top majors that FAMU offers? And if there's any particular students, if there's any particular field you're interested in, because Aaliyah will show you all the different majors again. And then if you go on famu.edu, you can see the majors. But if there's anything that you specifically are interested in now that you have a question for, we could possibly help you tone that in. And then the second question was about scholarships.
Okay. So some of the top majors or programs that we have at FAMU. So one, our engineering program in the FSU College Engineering, pharmacy, let me think, pharmacy, engineering, nursing.
SBI.
Yes, SBI definitely. And then I'm missing one, nursing, college engineering.
And journalism.
But there's one specifically, pharmacy, nursing, engineering, and y'all, we just did them. It'll come to me in a second. But these are all STEM programs. These are also programs that you have to be accepted into. So not only do you have to be admitted into the university, but you also have to be accepted into the school. Okay. So, and then next up, excuse me, scholarships. What scholarships are FAMU offering? So if you're a senior, we want you to apply by November 1st. So you'll see if you're eligible for our National Merit Scholarship. So like the Presidential Scholarship, the George W. Gore Scholarship, Distinguished Scholars Scholarship or Award. These are all different scholarships that you can apply for, and you can find them on FAMU's website as well.
Question, are those open to all students? Because I know before there were some scholarships that were specifically open to Florida residents or people that did the Florida, completed the Florida proficiency test. So can you speak on, are those ones that anyone can apply to?
Right. And it's a combination of both. Brother Shannon may have a little bit more information on that because I know he is with the NAA. So could you?
Yeah, so they're the ones that you just mentioned, your National Merit Scholarships, your George W. Gore, and your Life Gets Better scholarships would be specifically for all people that are applying first time in college freshmen. And then there are some scholarships for Florida residents only. But then you also have department level scholarships. So in these different majors that Aaliyah and Chantel just mentioned, you want to apply there for, at the department for different scholarships. It may be book scholarships, and even if you don't get that scholarship in the first year that you come to FAMU, you want to come, make A's, show yourself, to the deans, get to know professors, because scholarships and programs come across their desk all the time. So, there's several ways to pay for college, and I always encourage students also to look into Thurgood Marshall scholarships and Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. TMCF, you'll hear it called, is for public, historically Black institutions. And so they give out a lot of scholarships, and then there's just loads of scholarships and it is really true that there are scholarships that go unapplied to, in everything. So you want to connect with several organizations. You want to also get scholarships from your local church, your local community groups, your local fraternities and sororities, the Kiwanis, the Lions. You want to look everywhere. If there are seniors on the line, you need to really be digging, but our juniors that are on the line, you have the best road ahead, because you can start even looking for scholarships now in your junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Shannon. The next question we have is, can freshmen have cars on campus? I know when I was there, that was a no. Aaliyah, can you confirm what is the stance on that currently, and probably an explanation of why that is so?
Yes, so freshmen are not allowed to have their cars on campus. And the reason for that being is it's like that at majority institutions in the country. And reason being is you guys are making a big transition from high school to college. So we want to make sure that we're helping you get acclimated on campus, right? And that's why we have things like the salon. That's why we have things like the bowling alley. Even your Rattler card has a bus pass that's attached to it. So if you need to get around the city, like go to Walmart or maybe run to CVS or something, you have that bus pass to get around the city. So we accommodate you guys in this and helping you guys get that transition safe and sound. And then also I will note, if you come in with 30 credit hours, so I know some students are dual enrolled and they come in with some credits. If you have 30 credits, you will be able to register your car on campus. But typically as a first year in college freshman, you are not allowed to have it on campus.
Okay. Okay, so you can answer that one. How early can a freshman join a Divine Nine organization? And then after that, we will talk about the SAT score.
Okay, so how early can a freshman join a Divine Nine organization? So typically freshmen are not allowed to pledge their freshman year. You do have to have at least 15 as a transfer student. So now I'm jumping over, but if you guys are dual enrolled or going to a community college and plan to transfer over to FAMU, you have to have at least 15 FAMU credit hours in order to pledge. So no, freshmen, they typically do not let freshmen pledge their freshman year, and that's per university guidelines as well, or per university guidelines actually. And then the second question, if I had an SAT math score of 500, I would be denied. Yes, ma'am, you will. The SAT math score is a minimum 550, and the English-based reading and writing is a 530. So we don't look at the combined SAT score. We look at the individual math and then English-based reading and writing.
Let me ask a question that some students may have. So if I have a ACT score that meets 2 of the subset scores and it is below in 1, I know I would be denied, but can I take the ACT again? And would my highest score, maybe in that one I was low in before, be able to substitute?
Absolutely. So that is what we try to do to help you guys out, because we know test taking can be a little difficult. So if you do like the exact scenario that Mr. Shannon had, if you take the test again and meet that low test score, you meet the requirement for it, we will super score and take the highest test score from all of your test submissions that you send over.
So the same thing with my SAT, if I had the 500 in math and I met the score in English, if I take the SAT over again, what would happen if my SAT lowers in English, but it meets the requirement in math, and I already met the original score in English?
Then you would be good to go.
Okay.
As long as you meet it at least once. At least if you guys are sending those scores over to us, then yes, we will super score, but we won't know unless you guys send it over. So if you don't meet the requirements for math on one of your test scores, still send it over because you met the requirements for English based reading and writing. And then when you take it again, send over those scores as well, and we're super score and take the 2 highest scores out of those. Same with ACT.
Now, can a student apply if I'm taking the SAT this Saturday?
No, because you won't have your test scores back in time. So you got to wait until you get your test scores, and we don't self-report for the ACT and the SAT, only for your transcripts. So for like your academic core units that we talked about, the natural sciences, the foreign language, that's what we allow you to self-report for. But for the ACT and SAT, we have to have those scores sent over.
So I think a student can request an expedited score, and I think they would get it back in 2 to 3 weeks. So they may be able to still get their application in by the 1st of November.
Yeah,
They have to pay a little extra, I think.
Yeah.
And if they miss the November 1st deadline, is there another opportunity that a senior would be able to apply?
So we want the seniors to apply by November 1st so they can hear back. But as long as let me share this so they can see. Let me reshare my screen because I know they asked about another question earlier. So I'll just stay on the screen so we can look at it. But no, the November 1st deadline is just for early action. So that's just like our recommendation to them so they can go ahead and be, settled and start looking into housing or looking into, tuition scholarships. So, but November 1st is the early action deadline. So are you saying if they want to come back in the fall, or like what semester are you asking for them?
For a student that wants to do fall, because we're in fall 23. So if they want to be for fall 24, but they may not have their SAT scores in time to apply for November, are they still able to apply in March to get an acceptance?
Yes. So
go in the fall.
Yes. So April 1st is the fall deadline.
Got it.
April 1st is the fall deadline, but we recommend we encourage November 1st if they would like to get a heads up. Like they'll hear back from us by December 4th if they apply by November 1st, whether or not they've been admitted or denied. So if those test scores need if they need to bring up their test scores over GPA, they have the spring semester to do so.
Okay, students. So one thing we're stressing is that if you are in your if you are in your junior year, this is the time to really push for your GPA scores, push for trying to take practice SATs, ACTs. I know from growing up in New York, we were more so SAT based, not so much ACT, but taking those practice tests to really set yourself apart, because it's very competitive to attend this school. And just as a soapbox, I know coming from New York, we hear a lot about CUNYs and SUNYs, or you're not very familiar with HBCU schools, but just know that historically Black colleges and universities has been around since the 19th century, right after the end of slavery, to give Black students an opportunity for education, and we're still pushing to do that. And also to get out of New York. Like, one of the best things I ever did was going to FAMU and being in the South and being in that different environment, and coming back home to New York. It gave me a very different perspective, but I was just very appreciative and able, and it's warm weather all year round. So you could take a break from the snow and all of that. So if you guys have any questions, just continue to reach out to us. You can make sure you follow that on social media. If you would like to, you can follow myself, our alumni chapter. It is at FAMU, FAMUNY ALUMNI. So at FAMU NY alumni, so that we can help. We're trying to save up our money and raise funds to give a scholarship to students, an incoming student. So we might be giving you guys a scholarship for the fall next year, if you guys apply, because every dollar counts. Make sure you guys are Googling and researching about different scholarships, because the university giving you a scholarship, that's just one. There are millions of dollars being given out in scholarships from all different countries. Coming from New York, a lot of us are not native. Our families are from different countries. There are different associations. The Jamaican Association of New York is giving out scholarships for students who have parents of Jamaican descent. Like, there's different ways for you guys to get money. So you guys just gotta research and dig deep to find those resources to help you. I did have one last question for Aaliyah. Is that a thing in terms of, we see so much about students getting $8 million in scholarships, but is there a cap at FAMU where how does that work? If a student gets a lot of money in scholarships, are they able to receive all that money?
Yeah, if they receive those scholarships, well, at FAMU in particular, it depends on the scholarship. Some scholarships only pay for what you need. Like what you need, they'll maybe give you some additional for like rent and things like that. But depending on the scholarship, if students get scholarships coming out of high school from different entities like Coca-Cola or Thurgood Marshall or McDonald's, Black Positively Golden, like if they receive those scholarships, that's their money. So they get those scholarships. But when it's through the school, and Brother Shannon can probably elaborate on that as well, it just depends on the scholarship.
Yeah. Yep. So, and there's basically two ways to get to school. Either school pays you to come, or you pay them to go.
Right.
And so we're looking again for the best and the brightest of students all over the world to come to FAMU and be a part of the FAMU experience, and then go out into society and be great. We're gonna let you be great.
Yeah, and me being military, I was able to attend FAMU, and I was also became a Florida resident. So that's something you guys will also be able to do after a few years living in Florida, and you get your own place. You can show proof of documentation to be a Florida resident, and then you no longer will have to pay out-of-state fees, which will make a big difference in your tuition. So that's another opportunity. With me being in the Army Reserve, I was able to have the Army pay through tuition assistance, pay for me my whole time at FAMU. So I graduated with no debts. So that is about it. Is there any final words you have to say, Aaliyah?
No, we thank you for having me. We're excited to see you all on the Hill, because I know you guys will. You have great mentors. You have an amazing alum community in New York. as Chantel has stated and has given you the contact information. So take advantage of them. They are loving, they are nurturing, they will pour into you and do everything they can to help you get into FAMU, to support you financially with those scholarships, and just overall great people. We welcome you into the family. So we hope to see you on the Hill, and thank you again for having me.
And
Oh.
thank you, Aaliyah. And Mr. Shannon, do you have anything else?
Go Rattlers. Let's do it.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Hope to see you.